Well, I had my 5 minutes, so I'll recognize Ms. Capps seeks recognition to address the Pallone Amendment for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do ask permission to strike the last word in support of the Pallone Amendment. And as the ranking member has said, this amendment would simply state that climate change is real and that we should work to address it, kind of a bottom line statement. I believe climate change is actually one of the most urgent and serious problems we face. Yet this underlying bill effectively prevents EPA from taking action to address it. The irony of this deeply flawed and misguided legislation being marked up today, which happens to be Earth Day, I think can't be ignored. For 45 years, Earth Day has been an opportunity for individuals around the planet to come together to place environmental concerns at the forefront of the collective global consciousness. It was actually first established largely in response to a devastating oil spill in my district offshore in 1969. But the message of Earth Day is just as relevant today. In fact, I believe it might be more so. It is a day to recognize that our actions do have consequences and that we must take responsibility for what we have done and what we are continuing to do to this planet. As policymakers, we do have a responsibility to create policies that advance the best interests of current and future generations, including when it comes to climate change. Scientists agree. Climate change is real. And not only is our climate changing, but human activities, particularly from the power sector, are contributing to this change. Temperature extremes are becoming more frequent, severe storms are becoming commonplace, oceans are becoming more acidic, and there is not enough water where we need it, and too much water where we don't want it. Beyond changes to our environment, climate change has implications for health, for food security, and the availability of clean water. Studies have shown that climate change can lead to higher rates of asthma, reduce crop yields, increase the risk for harmful algal blooms to poison our reservoirs. Clearly, climate change is not just an environmental issue. It is a social and economic issue as well. The impacts of climate change are disproportionately affecting individuals who can least afford to address them. It's already costing our economy billions of dollars in storm damage, flooding, harmful algal blooms, and much more. We owe it to future generations to start taking responsibility for our actions now and work to reduce the carbon emissions that are driving climate change. This Ratepayer Protection Act before us does not present a clear path forward and does not present any real solutions to the problems we face. Instead of working to determine the best course forward, this legislation would derail the Clean Power Plan before it's even finalized. Climate change is a time-sensitive issue. We cannot afford to keep saying that the solutions are too hard and leave a legacy of inaction. We do have a responsibility to our constituents to find solutions that help to mitigate the causes of climate change and adapt to impacts that we are seeing now and will certainly see in the future. We should be debating the merits of concrete actions to combat climate change, not simply endorsing inaction. So I urge my colleagues to support this basic Pallone Amendment and oppose the Ratepayer Protection Act. And I yield either to a colleague or yield back.
The gentlelady yields back. This time recognize the gentleman from West Virginia for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't think I'll need all 5 minutes. There were just 2 points I wanted to raise. One is we keep hearing about asthma, and my son is asthmatic, and I'm